Have you ever listened to Kay Bailey's Super Saint of the 70s? Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is episode 17. Yeah, and I hope you are all good. Seriously, I hope you are all great down to the bone. This is UKA Post 31, the film review. That's right. Welcome back. This is it. And I'm your host, Mr. Dan. Nostalgia. Yes, that's right. And today's film, King New York. Released on the 22nd of September 1990, directed by Abel Ferrara, written by Nicholas St. John, starring Christopher Walken, Lawrence Fishburne, David Caruso, Victor Argo, Wesley Snipes. Cinematography, Bojan Bazeli. Music by Joe Dahlia. Distributed by Carolco Pictures through New Line Cinema. Box office $2.5 million on a $5 million budget. Well, the plot is about a drug lord who's released from prison, intends to gain control of the underground crime world in his hometown, New York City. Frank White has a competition swept aside as he begins his plan to help the city's deprived areas. But his past is never forgotten, as the city's narcotics squad pursue and hound the city's new hero and wants to return him back behind bars, meeting plenty of obstacles before they can go down that road. The crime noir concept is well accompanied by the dark orchestra score, being well composed by Dahlia, perfectly fits moments and scenes involving Walken. It's well suited or placed as a theme for what, like a superhero theme, having style and presence to command the room. And that's how he carries himself, conducts himself. His level of respect is greatly tailed by this theme. And you hear this majority of the time when Frank White is on screen. The over-eccentric performance from Fishburne as Jimmy Jump, a wild card, live wire, and loyal to Frank. Always an element of danger to others, unsure about his thinking pattern, with the amount of Curtis blood vacuumed up his nostrils. Definitely a character, one of Lawrence's best yet, from his early career to his status today. I think Jimmy Jump is one of his make or break characters, and I think this made him in a big way. This is one of his best. Scooby D, having 3 of his tracks, Saturday Night, Am I Black Enough For You, and King of New York, being played throughout the entire film, the entirety of it. And to be honest with you, Scooby D is one of my favourite hip hop artists of all time, alongside Eric B. and Rakim. Straight up, and rated R, and it's a warning. That's how it is, bro. That's how it is, folks. It's definitely helped push the sales for Scooby's album as well, released in '89, also helped got the sales up. And Am I Black Enough For You? Definitely. I love these tracks. This was like the first times I come across some sort of like that New York underground sound. Definitely so. The entire production being located and shot within New York City, including Times Square, 42nd Street, Queensboro Bridge, and the Plaza Hotel, owned by Donald Trump. Obviously, he gave his approval on the grounds that Walken posed for a picture with his wife, Ivana, who was a big fan of the legendary actor. Fair enough, I met Christopher Walken in 2001, and we had a little talk, and he's an interesting guy, interesting man. Christopher Walken truly brought the character of Frank to life, reality, making a character come comes across as iconic and well measured, like Don Corleone. The persona and the characteristics being the inspiration and an alter ego of the late Christopher Wallace, also known as Biggie Smalls or the Notorious B.I.G. So, and that was it. And I heard there was Christopher Wallace actually got to speak to Christopher Walken on the phone, and Wallace didn't believe that it was Walken. And that was an interesting story. You have to read up on that tidbit. If I can pull the story up, I will later. Ferrara began his early career working in grindhouse movies and slashers from 1979 onwards, later working on Michael Mann's television program, project on a few of them, and 2 episodes of Miami Vice. He's also credited for Bad Lieutenant in 1992 with Harvey Keitel, which is a crazy film, but I like that one. Crazy. A year later, he worked on Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake, which is one I still haven't seen yet. My provocative notion with this one is, what if he and his guys survived? How would have his empire expanded throughout the city? And the changes to help, what happened with those plans? Are they still in fruition? The man had a vision and never got to see his dream come to what he wanted it to be, or what he was hoping it to be. And this could have been prevented through certain precautions. He was overcautious, not cautious enough. He didn't take the Scarface approach. He wasn't ignorant to his problems. He, like I said, more Don Corleone tries to lean towards a measured man, a person to think, using logic in the right way, as it should be. And something went wrong. But maybe it was in that. And I got the cops because they were hounding him, and this was. It's like a flea on a dog, irritating. Rotten Tomatoes scoring is 70% on after 30 views. Others reviewing the film as of 60% and upwards. Not bad, really, considering this is definitely worth being put in that bracket. I would say so. There were other critics not convinced about the film, but then it's not everyone's cup of tea, is it? Come on. So, yeah, it's definitely mine. May not be yours, but that's what makes us different. A cameo by a young and up-and-coming actor, Steve Buscemi, in the opening act as the chemist before the room is occupied by dead bodies and shootouts. That was interesting. And then you had David Caruso's character having plenty of personality in here. He definitely did. He showed like a comedic side as well. Like he had humour, he had comedicness, good timing, and he had emotion. When he was angry, you could sense he wanted to kill Frank. You could see it in him. It was in his eyes, and he was psyching his guys up to go after him. And this was what it was going to be. This was coming down to it. He had that determination, and I like that. But he's commonly known for his role in CSI Miami as Ratio Kane. The trademark scene of when he announces the murder from the side angle camera, or sometimes a worm shot when you see him put on his shades with the sun-drenched background. You know the one. I watched Miami enough times. It was probably my favourite, a little bit more than just be just ahead of Vegas, I say. And then Wesley Snipes going on to leading roles in action movie genre after this throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. One of his best performances was, of course, Blade, firmly reinstated the superhero genre going forwards for Marvel and DC. But his career suffered greatly, and it was a shame for someone of his talent and skills to not quite reach the full potential of what he could have done. I liked him in Murder 1600 Hours. That was an interesting film. That definitely had something about it. I think that would have gone under the radar, but that should have been put out more. Victor Argo featured as one of the henchmen, Blue Boyle in True Romance, and a few other appearances throughout the 1990s. He was quite prolific. You see him on screen a few times, and fair dues, this guy always seems to bring it. So, what do you expect? He's a good actor, Victor Argo. I catch more of his films. I do like the guy. Kind of put him in a Robert Forster category of definitely talented actor. So, this is an underrated cult classic. Hugely underrated cult classic. So we've got this crime noir story mixed with an urban scene. It's like creating New Jack City meeting the mafioso scene within the universal realm of Abel Ferrara. And it's like being at a School D concert while all this is happening. The cast being hugely elite in the name of Hollywood, yeah, at the time, easily. And the up-and-comers, everyone down to the main, right down to the B, down to the extras. There was not one poor or average performance, and each actor held their own on screen. This is an amazing film. It's very powerful performances from some of these actors, particularly Frank White, how he stays calm, and David Caruso as well, and Lawrence Fishburne. They all got screen presence, even when they're all together. It's like you almost think it's real. You do want to believe it, whether you like it or not. They are amazing actors, and they can really got depth and range about them, and that goes a long way, especially in this film. That is true. I'm gonna say that it is true. Great scenery, characters, like I said, dialogue between certain characters is on point, sometimes humorous, and the build up towards the third act, unveiling the inevitable showdown, is mind blowing. It's the scenery setter too. You know what I mean? It's a scenery setter. It's a great example of how Ferrara amplifies his films, gripping the shootout finale in such a way it stretches, and it doesn't just take place in one. It takes its way out onto the road, and this, to me, is, in terms of gangster films, I'd say this is definitely one of the best shootout scenes. And this is a hard movie. It's a hardcore movie, a hardcore noir, and I would definitely recommend this to any gangster or crime fanatic, folks. Seriously, if you're into these sort of films, if you haven't heard or seen this film, I'm telling you, damn nostalgia is telling you, watch King of New York. First time I ever watched it, it blew my mind, and ever since then, I haven't stopped raving about it, even to this day. If you haven't seen it, I'd have to recommend it. And I'm going to give this classic a rating of 4.5. out of 5, because I believe it's definitely that. Definitely so. I want to take a moment to briefly mention about the passing of the Queen, Tina Turner, recently. And on my last podcast, I mentioned that we had sat through and binged the Mad Max, and to see Tina in that way, and now we're at the sad point in life where we're no longer going to get to see Tina Turner, and it is sad. It is very tragic, and passing is unexpected, and it will definitely take a toll on people in many ways. Not only was she an icon, but she was a very strong woman, and my heart goes out to her family. And this is a sad time. This is a sad time. So just wanted to say that, and may the Queen rest in peace. Tina Turner, greatness. Thank you for what you've given us. Well, I'm going to go on to my last segment, which is, what have you been watching? Well, let me tell you what I've been watching. I watched a classic. Some of you may remember it, some of you don't. Some of you don't. Yeah, I never have heard of it. Maniac Cop. Yes, with Bruce Campbell. That's right, Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell. Definitely one I haven't seen since 89, 90, around that time. And it's still a cult classic today. Definitely is. And and it still makes me laugh though, because it's crazy. The villain from Tango and Cash is the in Captain Dynaball. But yeah, it is good and fair dues. I haven't seen it for a long time. I'd watched it. Wow, not the greatest film, but the fact is sort of just went under the radar maybe, because I mentioned it to a couple of people after watching it, and some had not remembered it, and a couple of people were older than me, so it was good to bring it back. Anyway, I want to say thank you for the likes and comments. That's my segment. And say keep subscribing. Thank you. I want to say big shout out to those who have followed me. Yes, I have got to make this clear. We are attempting to get a big investment to improve our gear. We're improving our situation. We are in the phase 1 stage. So this is just the build up. You know, we're still a small platform. We're not a big time enterprise, you know, stacked with money to throw at situations. So yeah, just want to be real with you and let you know. My name's Dan Nostalgia, and I'm a writer. I do like to write. I write under a different name. I've written a few short stories, and in the midst of writing a novel, which I'm it's 62,000 words in, and with a series of books surrounding that. I've written a couple of screenplays, short films, and hopefully this year, or maybe next year, I'm hoping to have both of them complete, and will be able to upload to my channel, show you my vision. I speak on others because I don't put myself on no platform where I can judge others. I like to talk about these things. This is my platform, this is my station, but I want to put my work out there at the same time, and then I want to see what your view is, what their view is. If I could make my film, and then even if someone of a name sat down and watched it, however they liked their own, I would take that. I'd take the criticism, I'd take the praise, because it's all about the flying stage. It's all about getting off the ground. So that's what I want to put out there, folks. Just wanting to tell you a little bit about myself, and just to let you know what I'm about. I do have a story that I'm also planning on sending off to a station, one of my stories, and I'm hoping to see it maybe turned into a TV series or a one-off series next year and the next coming years. So yes, I'm ambitious. Having this platform is just the beginning of where I want to be. And being a personality and getting to talk to you and getting to interact with you, it makes me feel good about myself, and I hope it does the same for you, because we're all human beings. I mean, there's great films out there, there is average films, and there is god-awful, terrible films out there. But at the same time, each category is viewed differently by each individual. You know what I'm saying? You know how I'm trying to come across? I see one film as X, you see one film as Y, and then another person, I could be in a room, we're watching a film, we could both see the film as X or Y. So at the end of the day, it's who we are. We're here to talk about these things, the matters at hand. So I want to say thank you, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you've been hitting the like, and I'm seriously hoping to cement this platform solidly with a whole new thing. The location program at the moment is going to carry us into next month because of due to our schedule and release date for it. So we will be pushing to get that out there, and we've also got a few things up our sleeve that we're in the progress of making happen too, but that's going to be in the next coming months. So I just want to end this by saying thank you. Please like, please subscribe. I hope you have a good day. Please take care of yourself and others, and do everything the right way, please. And thank you. And I'm Dan Nostalgia, UK Outpost 31.